a global technology and business leader with close to 3 decades in the telecom industry, Mr. Vikash Singh.
The human layer is the most fragile layer. And as a strategy, as a business leader, we must invest and take care of the human layer.
Clarity behind your decisions. As you said, you need to be calm because panic creates more panic.
With the complex scenarios coming in, as long as you can make fast decisions, you are already a step ahead than your competitor.
Hey there, and welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute World Council of Directors. I'm your host, Charu Mehra, and today's episode is one of those conversations that stays with you long after the microphones are off. Because today, we're not just talking about leadership from behind a desk. We're talking about leadership when system fails, when millions of customers are affected, when decisions can't wait for perfect data, and when technology, trust, and responsibility collide in real time. Joining me today is Mr. Vikash Singh, a global technology and business leader with close to 3 decades in the telecom industry. Mr. Vikas has led some of the most complex transformations and operation environments across Europe, Asia Pacific, the Middle East, and Africa. From building prepaid and messaging platforms in the early days of telecom, to setting up global delivery centers, to running emergency management operations for the entire national networks, to now leading customer experience improvement and Gen AI automations programs at Nokia. His career sits at the intersection of technology, governance, resilience, and human leadership. Mr. Vikas, it is such a pleasure to have you with us on FaceTime with Leaders today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Charu. I'm humbled by this introduction, and good afternoon, and welcome to this discussion.
We are so excited to have you, sir. To everyone listening, this episode is for you if you've ever had to lead through uncertainty, manage complexity across cultures, balance innovation with accountability, or simply wondered how real decisions are made when the pressure is real. So let's get started. Starting with our first segment, the journey. So, Mr. Vikas, I'd love to start by rewinding the clock a bit. Long before global programs, AI automation, and boardroom discussions, you were starting out in the telecom world, working with prepaid systems, messaging platforms, and large operational setups. When you think back to those early days, what is that one thing about the industry that genuinely surprised you? Something you didn't expect at all, but which quietly changed the way you look at leadership today?
Yeah, Charu, that's a very good question, and thanks for asking about it. I will just go back to 90s and when this telecom was on a baby step. At that point of time, we had been focusing more on the customer-centric behavior and the deliveries. Right now, we are talking about more human-centric behavior and more human-centric business deliveries and the strategies that we are facing and creating now. So I'll just take you through one example. I'll take you 1997, 98. One deployment that I was doing in Africa, very difficult place. And I took 6 vaccinations before I landed there in Africa. Okay. And I was preparing for 2 months, and I had a backup also just in case, because you can't send somebody overnight. Yeah. And that preparation time, 2 months. And then I was boarded back to a flight from Dubai to Africa. And then when I landed there, then I was told that there is a remote site where only a chartered flight can go. And then I was boarded on a chartered flight, and I was accompanied by bodyguards with machine guns on that flight as well. So that was the remote deployment, right? And you can very well understand that's only one server I was deploying there, okay, as a part of my initial days of engineering. So I went there, such an expensive visit, carbon footprint. But that point of time, the priority was to go there, deploy and deliver at what cost and come back, right?
Right.
But now the the things have moved in 3 decades. And when I'm saying that things have moved in 3 decades, that now we are worried about carbon footprint. We are worried about how we can do automated deliveries, how we can do remote deliveries. Now, at the click of a button, same African deliveries, we can do it from Chennai. We can do it from
Right.
Noida. We can do it from Lisbon. We have got 3 centers running all across. People can just log in and click and do it. So industry has moved, and with this industry 4.0, 5.0 coming into the picture, we are talking about sustainable deployment and development. So that point of time when I was going to Africa on a chartered flight with machine guns on board, I never envisaged that we will come back to this kind of a situation now. So that's the challenge, and that's how the industry has moved on.
Wow, wow, that was really a refreshing take, sir. And it's amazing how those early surprises shape the kind of leader you eventually become. And you captured the transition so beautifully from dealing with those early days chaos, leading to the long-term view mindset. When we're talking about sustainability, we're talking about our carbon footprint. It really shows our evolution.
Exactly. That's how things move on. And
Absolutely,
that is why
absolutely.
we need to define this strategy, which can be, timeless and which can
Right.
survive over the decades.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for sharing your views with us, sir. So, Mr. Vikas, you've led India's Emergency Management Center and now run global customer experience improvement programs at Nokia. When a major network outage hits, what are the first three things you personally verify or decide before the technical teams even begin full recovery? And how do those early decisions shape what the CEO and the customers experience over the next 24 hours?
Right, Charu. Charu, I would say that one thing is very common across the industry, whether you are handling the telecom outage or any situation to troubleshoot. Crisis management, the golden rules and the pillars are same. Yeah. So recovery and disaster recoveries are following the same principle. First and foremost thing, you need to stay calm. If you are calm, you can recover well, you can think well, you can decide, and you can take sane decisions which can really help the situation. So first thing is the calmness. Then second thing, you need to first think on how to restore back rather than
Right.
resolving the whole situation resolution may take a longer time, right?
Right.
Like if you're trying to resolve a software issue, you may need to deliver a patch, which is a long duration solution, right? But right now, the challenge will be how to restore the system and bring it on board, where millions of subscribers are not able to make calls. And if they are not able to make calls, right now, you must have seen this Optus issue. I'm not sure if you're aware, Charu. The Optus network in Australia
Mhm.
suffered a major glitch just in
Okay.
November 2025. And in November 2025, the ambulance and the emergency services were compromised because
Oh my.
people were not able to make calls to emergency and ask for the ambulance to come in. So many lives got compromised. So those kind of situation, you don't need to wait for a solution to get deployed. You need to restore the services back. And I can tell you one quick example. In one of the India's largest network, on 31st of December, there was a data outage. Okay. And you can understand on 31st of night, everybody is reaching out, calling up the friends and family and communicating the greetings and sharing some photos, videos. And you can't imagine a data system going down for half of the India, right? So the restoration was done only in 7 minutes, precise. And how
Wow.
that was done, I came on a call and I simply asked, do we have a geo standby system, and do we have a geo standby link? And yes, there was an answer. Yes, let's switch on. And people switched on. My team was on the board, and you just need to give them the direction. See, you need to lead from the front and give the guidance rather than the set of engineers. They are binocular to resolve the problem.
Right.
Fine, that can take a back seat. For me, the priority is, as a leader, to restore it back.
Right.
And within 6 minutes, the system was up and running. And before even any CTO or any senior level management could even understand and react on the outage situation, the situation was restored. So outages can happen, crisis can happen, and it is bound to fail, right? But you need to be prepared how to restore it back fast.
Yeah.
That should be the priority. And at the same time, you need to be very, very careful. You need to boost the confidence of your team that only you guys can recover it. We are only here to mentor you, guide you.
Wow, wow, that was incredibly vivid, sir. You made us feel the pressure of those tense moments where and the clarity behind your decisions. As you said, you need to be calm because panic creates more panic. So it's not going to help anyone. And
Absolutely.
yeah. I mean, it's fascinating how those instincts come in from years of learning and sometimes from the tougher moments. So, thank you for sharing your journey with us. I mean, it was incredibly, and I can't even imagine myself being in such a situation because, you're managing something which is so important and it is such a large scale, but you kept calm and you took that decision, and as you said, the service was restored in 6 minutes. So wonderful job done, sir. Kudos to you.
Thanks, Charu.
So, Mr. Vikas, you entered telecom when prepaid systems and messaging platforms were just taking off, and you're now working in a world of AI-driven networks. From what you've seen on the ground, what part of the telecom industry has become more fragile over time, not stronger despite all the technology?
Yeah, Charu, I would say it remains same, the human layer. It's not in infrastructure. Paradoxically, you can say infrastructures are getting stronger day by day. Now we have got cloud coming into the picture. That means you will never have an outage, right? Because systems are on cloud. So the most fragile part is the human layer, because of the fact with this cloud coming into the picture and the solutions level deployment coming into the picture, you have got a lot of things integrated. So it's app, it's software, it's hardware, and app over app, and then further leverage of another business cases on top of it. So you can understand that it's a very complex scenario. And so things are getting complex, although infrastructure is getting very, very strengthened at the moment. But this human layer is still the most critical layer, as the most fragile one, because at one hand, if by this strategy we are automating most of the things, our operations. So human layer, we are trying to reduce the intervention as much as possible. So by minimizing the human layer, some way it is helping the business, but those thin human layer need to react and coordinate very well. And you need to invest in that human layer, and you need to make sure that human layer competency level and their management skills are so high that it can manage these complex network. So human layer is the most fragile layer, I would say, and it will remain. So technology is a multiplier. Okay,
Right.
it's not replacing the human being. You may have heard about AI coming in, people's job coming at the risk. Fine, that is okay. These automations, same happened when computers came, right? That probably it will replace human, but never. It only acting as an enabler and facilitating things, giving you the speed and accuracy, right? But the human layer remains there. So
Absolutely.
the human layer is the most fragile layer. And as a
Wow.
strategy, as a business leader, we must invest and take care of the human layer.
Absolutely. That was such a clear-eyed take on how progress sometimes create new vulnerabilities. And as you explained it so honestly, that the human layer, as you said, is the most fragile. And I have noticed that companies there are a lot of companies which do invest in their people, but there are some where they are more concerned about the infrastructure and the technology, and taking care of their people, their employees take a little backseat. So this is definitely important, as you said, and it'll make the shift very easy. So thank you for sharing your views on that with us. So you manage everything from packet core networks to customer support ecosystems. Where do telecom companies most commonly underestimate operational risk today? Is it infrastructure, people, vendors, or decision speed?
I think it's pretty much correlated question that you have asked. So that's a very good question again. And I would say that while we discuss about the people, of course, again, coming back to the people, uh, the most difficult part is decision making. And
Hmm.
with the complex scenarios coming in, as long as you can make fast decisions, you are already a step ahead than your competitor,
Right.
and you are already ahead in meeting up your customer expectation, because right now things have moved on from just meeting the customer expectation to enhance the customer experience. So
Ab-
you need to take the fastest decisions, and that's again the people part. So decision
Absolutely.
making is the key thing. You need to move fast, you need to take action very quickly and proactively before,
Right.
and do not work on a reactive manner.
Right. And I think it's not only the speed of decision, it's also the quality of decision that you're taking, which will impact the whole scenario here. And,
Yeah, of course, of course. And
absolutely.
quality comes, and that's the perfection.
Right.
Quality can should not compromise your speed,
Compromise.
and speed
Right.
should not compromise your quality.
Compromise.
So
It's
that's a very,
correlated.
yeah, it's
Yes,
a correlated one, and you need to strike the right balance. You should not
absolutely.
wait for a one perfect morning and wait till that time. So you need to take that call, and that's where the
Absolutely.
human layer comes in. You
Right.
know that
Right.
only you can make that decision.
Absolutely.
A
Absolutely. So
human
that
can
was
make the decision.
right, right,
It's
right,
a
right,
very thin line.
right.
It's a
That
very
was
thin line.
really yeah, I was just, as I said, I mean, it was very sharp insight that you gave, and rarely the obvious technical piece, but the hidden coordination gaps, as we discuss, is what create the real risk. Is, as you said, a very thin line between making or breaking it. So you explained it with so much clarity that a good decision, a quick decision can make or break the entire operation. So, thank you for sharing your views with us. Now, as we start to wrap up the segment, let's switch gears and have a little fun with the rapid fire round. This one's is all about quick answers. Are you ready for it, sir?
Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, the first one of our next segment, the rapid fire round. The first question is, if you could sit down for coffee with any leader, past or present, who would it be and why?
One Buffet. And now you can correlate why, because he's the man who always keeps calm, and his strategies are timeless, right? So it's not
Yes.
about finance, but it's his strategy. Yeah.
Wow, wonderful answer, sir. Okay, next one. What's one habit you've adopted that has the biggest impact on your success?
Relationship.
Relationship. Wow. Wow, very nice. Okay, next one. If you weren't in telecom, what's the one career that you think you'd have pursued instead?
I would have been an entrepreneur. I'm a people's man, Charu, and you can understand that I thrive on the relationships. So if I
Yes.
don't meet hundreds of the people every day, then it's very difficult for me to breathe. And thank God my companies and my career has given me the opportunity. I have traveled across 27 countries in 6 continents and have
Wow.
met thousands of colleagues all across the culture, continent, and language.
Wow. Wow, that is really nice. Okay, next one is what's a book or resource that has shaped your leadership philosophy?
Uh, I would say there are many books, but 2 books are the primary ones which I always refer. Art of War by Sun Tzu, which gives you the strategy path. That means you can set up a strategy and you can decide the battle before even you start fighting for.
Wow. Hmm.
Right. And second is Leaders Eat Last. That's by
Wow.
Simon Sinek. That gives
This
you
one,
another dimension that you need to trust and you need to take care of the human being. because
Wow.
that's the property that you have in your organization, not those numbers. So numbers are not so important. The important is the human being. And as long as you can create that trust environment in your organization, then you will have all of your problems sorted out.
Wow, wow. This one I have not heard about, but I'll definitely look into it.
Sure.
It sounds really interesting. Okay, next one, the last question of our segment. What does a perfect work-life balance look like to you?
Yeah, very interesting. Right. Work life balance. My motto is simple. Wherever you are, be 100%. Be yourself. Okay. If it is office, make meaningful decisions, create value, come out of it, then go back to your family, and then you are there. Once you're there with your family, then you are not thinking about your business, without you are not having any guilt because you have already delivered for the day, right? So even if you're having a family dinner, thinking about a meal or a decision, I could have done better, probably you are lost. Neither you are here, neither you are there. So that's the work-life balance. So work, if you work efficiently, you can handle your life much more efficiently. So it's not at the cost one at the cost of the another. So you can't borrow from one to another one.
Wow, that is such a beautiful thought, sir, and I'm really impressed with this last answer that you gave. I'm gonna probably quote you to people, on this. That was so beautifully said. So thank you so much for that honest and spontaneous answers to the rapid fire round. This round really lets us see the person behind the professional. So thank you for sharing that with us so honestly.
Thank you, Charu.
Mr. Vikas, over the last few years, we've seen large organizations shaken up by governance failures, data manipulation, and breakdowns in the internal controls. Industries far more regulated than most still find themselves vulnerable when incentives and oversight drift apart. You work closely with audit, risk, and technology committees, and you've seen how decisions ripple across systems, people, and public trust. So let me ask you this. When early warning signs begin to appear inside an organization, numbers that don't fully reconcile, operational stories that change depending on who is speaking, or teams that suddenly become defensive, what should a responsible leader or board member do first?
Right, Charu. That's a challenge as a leader you need to understand, and you need to really sense it well. And I would use a management term, we call it watermelon effect. That means green outside and red inside. So if you are having meetings and reviews and all the KPIs and the performance indicators and the numbers look all green, you need to sense it. That something is wrong, right? And that's where that's the
Wow.
first indicator. Yeah. All green dashboard on any operation or any business cannot be, right? That means either we are not measuring the right indicators, or either we are not measuring it well, or someone is actually manipulating the data.
Mm.
So that's the first sign and signal. And as a leader, you need to understand. Then you need to again go back to very basic of the humankind, right? You need that means either the fear has come to the team and they are not ready to present the real business picture back to you as a leader.
Mm.
So that means it's a homework for you rather than them. That means as a leader, you need to create a very safe and a very honest environment in place where honesty is getting rewarded, not getting punished. And you need to get down with those gentlemen, your team, and you need to speak to them on a very simple terms, ask the right stories, and then you try. When the moment you create the safe environment, probably you can now connect to the Simon Sinek, that why it says that you need to create the trust environment in an organization. And if you have the trustworthy people, they will share with you even the bad news, because as a leader you are supposed to manage things, right? You are supposed to manage the bad news, or you are supposed to manage the bad results. And that's, but you need to hear the original stories, original issues, and you need to accept that and prepare plans, not go back and start punishing them. That
Mm.
who, so who should not be the challenge.
Right.
The challenge is why. So that's the leadership vision that you should have and avoid this watermelon effect.
Wow, wow, wonderful. So I have seen that a lot of times people don't say the truth because they are scared of being reprimanded. So as you said, we should create an environment where they feel safe enough to come up to their leader and speak up of what, even if it's their mistake or if they've seen someone doing something which was not right. So making a safe environment is definitely one of the steps. And that was such a grounded and honest take on what real leadership looks like when the signals are subtle but important. Thank
I
you
can
so
tell
much
you
for.
one very small step in your office culture. If you have ever heard of open office culture, that means no cabins.
No cabins. Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Because the door is always open, right?
Yes.
If you
Absolutely.
if you walk into the office, you won't be able to realize where is the cabin. So that
Right.
means you are open, you are listening, and
Right.
whatever you are talking is transparent. So if you
Right.
are transparent as a leader, you don't have doors to close.
Right.
That others will also not close doors on you, and that's very
Absolutely.
important.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's rare to hear someone break it down with that much clarity and experience, sir. So thank you for sharing that with us.
And I can quote you one example from our
Yes,
great
please.
prime minister. Yeah,
Yes,
you
please.
must have heard those Kartavya Path coming up and those relabels and offices are not now called a different office now, right?
Right.
So if
Right.
you go to those offices, I have seen videos and I really appreciate our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, that he has created an office just like an open office,
The office.
right? And cabins have been broken down
Wow, wow, wow.
as far as I
So
have seen that.
that's how you lead with example, I
Yes,
think.
exactly.
Wow, wow. That is
That's the
wonderful.
cultural shift.
Yes, yes. Wow, that is really nice. Thank you for sharing that with us. I actually wasn't aware, so this is something new for me to look forward to as well.
Yeah. Look for the videos on YouTube,
I will do that,
and you
definitely.
will see that flat office.
Wow, I'll definitely do that. Thank you. So, with nearly 3 decades of global leadership experience, what key lessons have you learned about working across cultures and geographies? And is there any advice that you would like to give leaders who want to build strong people first relationship in diverse environments? And what can be an appropriate, a diverse environment?
Charu, uh, I can share quick wisdom through my experience and what I see here that everybody should look at that. That's my wisdom. First of all, that we need to let go the controls. We need to be very clear objectively what we expect people to deliver, irrespective of their diversified culture, skin
Mhm.
tone, language, and
Right.
the country or the continent they come from, right? So in that case, what I would say that what is more important that as long as you are a leader with essence and you are sharing the objective that needs to be delivered,
Mhm.
then your task is done. So, and your relationship with your team will only improve as long as you can connect with them
Right.
emotionally and you are not getting connected to someone on the ethnicity or his work culture or his other part. Because
Yes.
for the same action, and like we have meetings where our teams and team member join, where 16 member, 18 member people join, and probably they are from all 16, 18 different countries. So
Countries. Right.
they react differently. So if
Absolutely.
I open a meeting and ask, what do you think? That's my always the opening statement. Before I start giving them a direction, I always ask them, what do you think of the situation? And what's your plan on it? Because then suddenly you will have an advantage of it rather than a disadvantage.
Right.
You have got
Right.
multiple cultures on board. Suddenly you will have 16 different very version of the solution. So as a
Absolutely.
leader, it's a leverage for you. You are
Right.
fortunate that you have got so many culturally diversified team on member on board.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Absolutely.
my
Wow, wow. That was really insightful, Vikas, and it's really fascinating to hear how listening and understanding local context really drive effective leadership across geographies. And also, I believe that the common thread across all these diverse cultures is really about trust, respect, and a genuine human connection. So,
Absolutely, Charu. Those are the you have picked up correct things, and I'm really surprised that you being so fast in picking it up, and must have been your vast knowledge and skill set behind it. But you exactly pinpointed those key points.
absolutely. Absolutely. So it comes from a fact that I have, before working with being aligned with Directors Institute, I have also worked in multinational companies, and I've led teams of people who are more than 300 in number across diversities. So I sort of understand, where to understand the point that plays the most important role here. So, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us on this. Now, I want you to touch briefly on your governance journey. You have been associated with the Directors Institute, working towards your international corporate directorship program with Oxford through Directors Institute. At your stage of careers, many leaders rely purely on experience. What pushed you to formally step into board level education?
Yeah. I would say that this is a very good opportunity for me. Although the experience definitely give you the platform and enable you to take the decisions, but the director's ship program will give me the wings to fly off, because many of the things that I'm learning here are also very very important for the governance role, and I'm
Right.
stepping into the board of governance kind of in profile now, because of the fact that it's like giving back to the society, because then you are part of that decision making body who are actually working for this industry 5.0, which is talking about human centric that we talked earlier in the interview
Right.
when we were opening up the discussion. And in this industry 5.0, we are talking about climate neutrality by 2050,
Mhm.
reducing the carbon footprint,
Carbon
and all those things. But how you can contribute back to the society, unless
footprint.
you are in a decision making body and you're influencing those decisions, which can shape up the humanity of future, right? So that is why I'm coming to this role now. I have the experience and I'm gaining that skill set with this course coming in.
So first of all, I would like to say that this is a really inspiring moment for me, because a person with such an extensive experience is still looking forward to enhance their skill and get more knowledge on different things. That's really inspiring, sir. And I thank you very much for the feedback that you've given for the Directors Institute. This is such a thoughtful reflection, and it's rare to hear someone at your level speak so openly about why learning matters. And you explain the shift from experience to structured governance so beautifully, and it really reveals how leaders evolve. So thank you for sharing that with us, and I wish you all the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you, Charu. It was really nice talking to you. And thanks for this opportunity where I can share my experience. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. Vikas. This has been an incredibly thoughtful conversation. From building telecom operations in different parts of the world to leading emergency response systems to shaping how organizations think about automation, risk, and governance. Your journey shows what modern leadership really look like. Thank you for sharing your experience with us so openly.
Thanks, Charu. Have a nice day.
Thank you once again, Mr. Vikas. It's been a real pleasure having you with us. And to everyone listening, thank you for joining us on FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute World Council of Directors. If today's conversation reminded you that leadership is less about control and more about responsibility, then it's been time well spent. Until next time, stay curious, stay grounded, and keep leading forward. Thank you.